Sonic Adventure 2 is the best Sonic game. Is what I've heard for a very long time, and pretty much all my life. If I go on the street and ask someone what their favorite Sonic game is, they are most likely going to say Sonic Adventure 2. Now, this got me curious because it's one of the few Sonic games that I haven't played. Not that I didn't want to, it's just by the time I actually had a GameCube when I was younger, the game was like $70 and you could only get it on eBay, and I was a dumb child with no money. But now, I'm a dumb adult with little money, so I finally had the game on Steam. Now going into this, I know this is probably the worst port of the game, but I couldn't get a GameCube/Dreamcast to play it, or a working emulation, but I will try to be fair to the game. So a big reason I'm doing this is because I think I'm in a pretty decent position to ask, because I'm a big Sonic fan who likes the games and still is a fan of Sonic and isn't just Sonic's never been good, but also for this game I don't have nostalgia for it since I've never played it. And with Sonic Movie 3 right around the corner, hopefully this video is done by then, and that movie is most likely going to have a lot of callbacks and references to this game, I figured good as time as any. So let's get moving! This game has two stories to choose from. The hero story, which has Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and the dark story, which has Eggman and newcomers Shadow and Rouge.
Sigma Alpha 2.
Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it.
What the Sigma?
We start by seeing Sonic in a helicopter, pissed off about not having in-flight movies, so he kills everyone on board, rips off a part of the helicopter, and uses it as a snowboard, in probably one of the best Sonic opening levels in history. City Escape is an instantly recognizable theme, and a very fun level, with the iconic truck chase. I was trying to do the make it go reverse thing. Overall, it's a great level and definitely deserves its spot as the Sonic Adventure 2 representation in Generations. After that, we got a boss fight with the F6 Bigfoot mech, which was kinda just alright. Took me a second since he kept destroying my boxes before I could get on them, and he always seemed a little bit too high. It's not a terrible boss, but on the plus side we get our introduction to the best Sonic character, Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, he's kinda cool, but we don't got time for that, because it's Knuckles' turn, and instead of beating Eggman's ass, he destroys the Master Emerald by hitting it so hard that it explodes, not only in the area, but explodes to the point that shards go all over the world, just to keep Eggman and Rouge away from it. Damn you, Knuckles. So Knuckles' gameplay is the treasure hunting missions from the first Sonic Adventure, but honestly, kind of worse. His levels are far bigger, and they changed how the emerald hunting works. Now, instead of the radar going off when you're next to any emerald, it'll only track one at a time, so you can stand right next to an emerald and the radar won't go off. I will say though, his punch feels very satisfying, and his gliding is way better than it was, even in Frontiers. And hey, look at that! I got a Chow Garden key. Finding a key in the level lets you visit the Chow Garden, and it's fine. The Chow Garden, I mean. I didn't visit it much, because I once got super into the Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure 1, but my save got deleted, and I haven't really touched the Chow Garden since. After that, we move on to Tails, who is on his way to help Sonic, but instead needs to save Amy, which leads us to our first character boss fights. And it's fine, not really skillful or anything, it's just kinda mashing the shoot button and running around. Each character gets their own rival battle, and I'll get to those when they happen. But for now, I think this boss fight was just kind of weak overall. But now we get into Tails' actual first level. Tails' levels are far different from his levels in Adventure 1. Apparently he wasn't in the game, but due to fan outcry he was later added. I'm not sure how right that is, but it definitely feels correct. Tails operates a mech, and it certainly is... yeah, these missions aren't great. They have very awkward platforming, and the mechs will fall like a, well, giant hunk of metal. Points for accuracy, I guess. But the shooting doesn't feel that great, and the audio from the lock-on is extremely annoying, and overpowers the honestly really good background music. They are slower and overall worst version of the E102 Gamma missions from Adventure 1, which kept the fast pace and felt pretty good. And these ones just kinda suck overall. I'm sorry. So Sonic's in prison and Amy breaks in to help him out, and we go into Sonic's second level, Metal Harbor. Another good one I heard lots about, and yeah, it's good. gives you the Lightspeed shoes. What the fuck were these doing in prison? Then the Lightspeed's kind of weird in this game. It's very fast, but sometimes I've had it not just operate how it should, and I've done a spin dash off the edge. Also, something with the layout that I just thought was kind of funny. I'm just imagining like a normal person here trying to do their job. How do they navigate around this place? Also, the Rocket Man.
8, 7, 6, 5, fire.
But then, after that, Sonic encounters Shadow, and we get the lines everyone is familiar with.
So far, so good. Hey, that's...
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
I found you, faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh. You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you
fake.
eat those words.
Damn, Sonic, couldn't have let him finish first? Rude ass hedgehog. And oh, look at that! Must be my lucky day, because we get yet another Sonic level. And yet again, it's really fucking good. And this one has a time limit since Eggman's committing terrorism, but the gang escapes. The next level belongs to Knuckles, and Pumpkin Hill has a super nice atmosphere. And while I do like the song, it's kind of funny. He's just describing everything. But I think it's a good level, it's fine. But now, this is where it starts getting good. Eggman commits even more terrorism, and as he does, we get probably the most famous speech.
I come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog fucking quilly dick out and he pissed on my fucking wife and he said his dick was this big. And I said that's disgusting. So I'm making a call-out post on my twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small dick. It's the size of this walnut except way smaller. And guess what? Here's what my dong looks like. That's right, baby. All points, no quills, no pillows. Look at that, it looks like 2 balls in a bong. He fucked my wife, so guess what? I'm gonna fuck the earth. That's right, this is what you get. My super laser piss. Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon. How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot! You have 23 hours before the piss droplets hit the fucking earth. Now get out of my fucking sight before I piss on you too.
Look, half of the moon is gone?
Eggman. Oh, that creep never gives up.
But how did he manage to harness all that energy?
It's got to be the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, that's the reason they were looking for him. Tails?
The Chaos Emeralds are like magnets. They have the power to attract each other. I can use that to find where Eggman is.
I'll take care of the police while you...
What? Does this mean we get another Sonic level? Fuck! Alright, Tails. I'm sure this will be a good level. Does anyone else find it funny that, like, Tails has a giant-ass bounty, but Sonic, the one who's actually been arrested multiple times and is actively being, like, hunted by the police and just escaped prison, has a fucking brand deal? Just right on the highway? No one talked about this? No one was like, hey, we should probably take those down. This level is just another annoying Tails level since the lock-on doesn't even want to work half the time, and the enemies seem like they have aim assist. Again, bad. I was gonna say D rank, but I haven't been ranking these. But just know E rank. How about that? Moving on, we have Knuckles, and damn, this one is annoying. Listen to this shit.
I didn't expect the inside of the mines to be like this. This is gonna be tougher than I thought.
But honestly, it's kind of a fine level if you play it on mute, maybe.
Sheesh. There always seems to be a lot of police around when you don't need them. Tails, any news yet?
For some reason, I'm not getting a signal from the 6 remaining Chaos Emeralds. Maybe Eggman took the emeralds into outer space. Outer space?
Hey guys, long time no see. I must have got lost in the mines. Looking for the Master Emerald pieces was tougher than I thought it would be. Where are we anyway? Hey, where you going?
Move aside, Knuckles.
Amy, why are you asking him to move? Are you going down in the sewer? And Tails, watch out, damn! I'm sorry your friends are assholes, Knuckles. You deserve better. The reason Tails almost decapitates Knuckles is because he tracked down the president and needs to get to space to stop Eggman. And we get honestly not a bad level. Doesn't make sense how he does 3 laps and catches up to the president, but I'll gladly take these kart levels over his normal ones. Which brings me to the next level. Oh, damn it! Let's get this over with. It sucks.
I gotta do better next time.
Fuck you, Tails. The gang remembers that this is Sonic's adventure too.
Say that again?
And we get yet another Sonic level, and it is refreshing. Mwah! Chef's kiss right there. That was probably very loud. And we get the bounce bracelet. That's pretty neat.
Damn.
This level I found more infuriating, just because I couldn't understand the hints and where I was. Also shit, like going through walls in some of these areas. These levels aren't fun for me personally. Just, I don't like the treasure hunting ones. They feel very slow and it feels... I can't explain it, I'm sorry. But, thankfully, we get an alright boss fight against King Boom Boo. I like this one. Has a neat little opening, the sky, what are they called, slots in the temple, and it makes them smaller, and then he'll sometimes go in the ground or in the wall and you gotta dig him out. I liked it, not too bad. Eggman meets up and attempts to stop them, so he activates his trap card and special summons Egg Golem from his deck. Then this leads into a boss fight with Sonic that was way harder than it should have been. I have very poor depth perception. But Sonic wins, and him and the crew take a spaceship that was in the pyramid, as they usually are, and shit goes sideways and the emeralds in the cargo bay fly off into space, so that I can collect them again. Thanks, game. After Knuckles rightfully tries to kill everyone, we land on the Ark, and FUCK! Another Tails mission. This one actually has kind of a cool mechanic, where if you accidentally blow up the wall, you die.
Very cool.
Slightly better than his last level, I will say. But since Sonic's going to the reactor, maybe we could get a good Sonic level. Why is he already there? Oh, Amy's in trouble though, so maybe we'll get one for his way back. And maybe he can even have a timer like Green Forest did. Yeah, Knuckles' level is next, and I really don't like it. The asteroids suck to deal with and actually caused me to panic a lot since I had no rings, but I did know where the final emerald was, and the asteroids definitely had it out for me. Knuckles then catches up with Rouge, and they fight over the emerald shards in another character battle. There's really nothing to say about these battles except for the fact that they are by far worse than just normal bosses. Some are okay, but ones in which we'll get to later are just truly terrible. Rouge falls, and even though she has wings and can fly, probably even better than Knuckles, Knuckles has to save her, and she gives me the F me eyes and we move on. But we do finally get another Sonic level, and like usual, it's good. It has a cool gravity changing mechanic and doesn't make me upset except for the homing attack, but that's always kind of been wonky in these early 3D games. Sonic arrives to Eggman and Tails fucks up everything. 300 IQ, ladies and gentlemen. And then Eggman ships Sonic to his death. But Sonic, with a fake Chaos Emerald and no experience, somehow uses Chaos Control. Tails does say that it has the same wavelength and properties, but fake ones are weaker. But I'm still just wondering how Sonic used Chaos Control. Even he's confused, but it's just like, do you just need to know the words? Tails, having got his best friend killed, gets pissed and fights Eggman in another rival battle. It sucks. Moving on. I don't care about them brushing off the Chaos Control, because we get another Sonic level, and yes, it's good. Even if the game fucks me. But look at the little detail of Sonic burning alive as he re-enters Earth's atmosphere. Next we get Shadow's boss fight, where he kills himself and then cheats. Bastard. But despite cheating, we still beat the ultimate life form. Eggman attempts to turn the arc on again, but it fails. Sonic does his best impression of your mother, and that concludes the hero part of this story. Continuing our journey, we move on to the Dark Story. The Dark Story, consisting of Shadow, Rouge, and Eggman, tells the story of, well, Shadow, Rouge, and Eggman. It's the same as the hero story, but just their side. We start with Eggman breaking into the Space Colony Ark to find the research that his grandfather left behind, and the ultimate military weapon, which leads us into the first level of the Dark Story. Eggman. Eggman's gameplay is the same as Tails, and you should already know how I feel about those. But this level is surprisingly okay. Nothing special, the camera is still your enemy, but it's not as bad as some of the other levels can be. Overall, maybe C. C rank, there we go. After that, Eggman reaches the room and puts in the password.
Password is Maria.
And out comes...
Is that you?
Why does everyone confuse Sonic and Shadow? They look nothing alike. I can understand if it was like his beta design, concept art design, Terios. I also understand like normal people and maybe the cops mixing the two up, because they probably haven't seen Sonic before really, and if they have, it was probably only Super Sonic. But I mean, Eggman, you know what Sonic looks like. You even correct yourself in like a few seconds, but how are you confused? Also, why would Sonic even be on the Ark? It's in space. Damn. Well, sorry for the little tangent I just went on, but no, this is actually Shadow, not Sonic. Which leads us straight into a boss fight. But where did this guy even come from? Is that what Eggman was referring to when he said, I'm guessing so, but it's weird to introduce a boss off screen. But besides that, this fight is good. Shadow is cool. That's all I have to say. Eggman tracks down the Master Emerald's power and finds Knuckles and Rouge fighting over it. Everything plays out the same, with Knuckles breaking it, and then we get Rouge's first level. And real quick, I want to say, what horny bastard made Rouge's design? She is, respectfully, caked out of the fucking wazoo. She has a good design in like some of the artwork you see in some of the other games, but this one just, wow. And they gave her jiggle physics, bro, what the fuck? But that's enough about her design. Let's talk about the level. It's fine. It's just Knuckles' levels. Not the same exact levels, but I just mean same playstyle. I'm not a fan of the water aspect in hers and Knuckles levels. They just don't control that well. But next is Eggman, and his level was fine. Still, it's jank and way too much platforming. I know that sounds like a weird complaint for a Sonic game, but Eggman and Tails just don't control well enough to do it. They jump fine, but they drop super quickly, especially if you're by a ledge.
This broadcast for an important news flash. There has been a break-in at the Federal Reserve Bank today. Mysteriously, the only thing that was stolen was the Chaos Emerald. According to eyewitnesses at the scene, the suspect was identified as the world-renowned hero, Sonic the Hedgehog. The suspect was seen fleeing the scene, destroying the reserve's guard robots in his path. Stay tuned for more details.
Like the work of Shadow.
So I want to say, this scene makes almost no sense. There is footage of the guy who stole it that you can reference with footage of Sonic, and if you don't have any footage of Sonic, you have people who caught him at the beginning, which I'm pretty sure was Gunn, in the helicopter. They know Sonic is blue and not black, and that his quills go downwards and not out and up unless he is golden. Which they might even see the golden one as a different person. It's like looking at Vegeta do something bad and then being like, well, that could be Goku. I've seen Goku have his hair pointed up before. Yeah, it was golden, but this could be him. But never mind that, because we get the next best level in the game. Radical Highway. And Shadow's official first level. And oh boy, you bet your sweet bippy it's good. The atmosphere, the music, the level design, perfection. Sometimes the homing attack is still wonky, but damn, when it works, it's great. Also, since this is Shadow's first level, I want to talk about his design. It's good. I love the black with the little red patches, and yes, everyone makes fun of him, calling him edgy, or just a hot topic of designs, but that doesn't stop him from being cool. I mean, he has air shoes, and he skates around. He just has that style. But we can't have fun for too long, because the other characters need to have their levels too. Unfortunately. But Rouge's level is next, and oh, look at that! I got an upgrade. That's just unnecessary. This level is fine. The smaller spaces make the camera not cooperate as much, but it's fine enough where I can move past it. After Rouge gets back from being a mother and not knowing the species of animal, she takes a transporter to discover what Eggman is doing at the Ark. Meanwhile, Eggman is trying to get to the center control room that Shadow mentioned before he left. This level is not great, triggers hidden in corners, terrible camera, bad targeting overall. Not my favorite. Shadow then shows Eggman a weapon capable of destroying a planet called the Eclipse Cannon, and that they need all 7 Chaos Emeralds to power it. But Rouge interrupts them and ends up striking a deal with Eggman to get the other emeralds and to enact their plan to blow up Prison Island. Eggman kicks us off in an alright level. Like usual, it's bogged down by noise and terrible platforming and lock-on, alongside enemy placement just not being great, but probably Eggman's best level. But to be fair, I don't remember his levels that well. Amy mistakes Shadow for Sonic? Really? But Eggman says he'll take care of Amy. Hey, that's kinda cool, we never really see Eggman wearing his goggles. But Tails shows up to start the boss fight. That's all.
Better luck next time, Fox Boy.
Excuse me, what? Next is Rouge's level Security Hall, and it's pretty good. I used to hate it, but looking back on it, I actually kind of really appreciate the simpler design layout, and the timer makes the level go by way quicker. Yeah, it's hard and did take me a while to beat, but it's probably my favorite Rouge level, surprisingly. Then we get to a boss fight that feels like a reuse of Sonic's boss fight in the beginning, but now I can't use the homing attack and flying into him hurt me, but you do just have to get high enough to hurt him. It's okay. Rouge is trapped inside the vault with an emerald, and Shadow comes to save her. And we get rewarded with a Shadow level, and dare I say, it's peak. Yet again, the Shadow provides. Whenever my mind's fading, or I'm on the brink of insanity or frustration, Sonic and Shadow come along and remind me that this game can be fun. I will say though, Shadow gets an upgrade with the air shoes, and they look clunky. I don't like the design, it's too big. His normal shoes just look way better. We arrive at Shadow's half of the Sonic boss fight, and it sucks. It's a very small area and you bounce back very far, and I fell off the platform like 4 times. It feels kind of random whether you're going to do damage to Sonic or not. Like I'll feel like I'm at the right angle, and it says you need to catch him off guard, but he'll just randomly, instantly react. Shadow saves Rouge and uses Chaos Control to get them out of there, while Eggman blows up the island. Shadow has a flashback of Maria on the Ark, and they blow up half the moon. And we see what Rouge has been planning all this time.
This is Rouge reporting. Currently, I have not been able to confirm if Shadow is the ultimate life form or not. I will continue my research on Project Shadow and have a follow-up report very shortly. Just a reminder, don't forget about my jewels.
But now we get another cart level, and I do like these levels even if they don't control great. It just has like a learning curve, and besides that jump at the end, it's good. I do surprisingly like these levels. I see a lot of people say they don't really. I don't understand that. And even better, we get another Shadow level, Sky Rail. It's great. There is a problem with the bounce springs and spamming the homing attack, and then zooming off to an enemy that you weren't focused on, and then dying. But even then, it didn't tarnish the fun I was having. But on the downside, it is very short. Eggman catches up with Sonic at the pyramid, and after Sonic bonks the restraining collar of the egg golem, Eggman loses control of it, and it attacks him. This boss fight's pretty easy. Sorry if I'm not going in depth that much, it's just there's a lot of these, and sometimes I just have nothing to say. Rouge tricks Eggman into giving her the password, and she looks at what Project Shadow is, but she gets interrupted and alerted that Sonic and Co. are on the Ark. This leads us into quite possibly the worst level in the game, and possibly all of Sonic, Mad Space. This level has hints that are backwards and sometimes make no sense, or are just plain not helpful. This map is far too big to the point you get lost, the camera thinks it knows better than you and will fight you any chance it gets, to the point where I started getting motion sickness, had to take a break, then come back, and then half the time when you're trying to get to another planet, the gravity on it will just cause you to go in circles, or at the halfway point will suddenly just cut out. I'm gonna be honest with you, this level sucks so hard that it made me quit playing for about 5 months. The only reason I came back was because I wanted to make a video, and Sonic X Shadow Generations was coming out soon. Now is the Rouge section of the Knuckles vs. Rouge boss fight, and it's pretty bad. It feels like Knuckles is cheating, and the fight takes place on such small rails, and he'll just appear out of nowhere. He'll get your ass, he'll find you. Rouge falls, and Knuckles saves her. Like I said before, she could fly. Eggman's turn is next, and this level still has bad lock on and the artificial chaos monsters are a pain to deal with. But I do like that the hover is kind of like a fly. That's kind of cool. But it's an absurdly long level, and overall not that much fun. Hey, so this is Editor Me. Apparently I completely forgot a part, so I'll be quick. Eggman holds Amy at gunpoint. I really wasn't expecting him to do that. Shoots Sonic out to space, Tails gets pissed, and yeah, I forgot. Eggman's portion of the Tails boss fight. It's okay. The Tails fights are pretty easy. He did do a lot of damage to me, but I mean, I beat him in 30 seconds. Overall, it sucks. But after 3 bad levels, we are saved, yet again, by Shadow. With this weird tube level, but it's fun at least. It has a good flow and the tubes work surprisingly well. Overall great level, but the fun can't last forever. We have another rival battle with Sonic on the arc. Sonic is always slightly too far ahead. In his special attack, I just couldn't dodge for the life of me. And when I got close and attacked him, I would fall off the map. If Sonic gets behind you, he's gonna get you. I did this great clutch moment where I killed Sonic, but also jumped off the map. But it did let me keep my win, so that's a plus. Shadow beats Sonic and Eggman puts all the emeralds in the arc panel, and that concludes the Dark storyline. Now, after beating both stories, you unlock the last story. The last story opens on the arc going crazy, in a video from Gerald Robotnik saying that when the emeralds are all put in the arc will collide into Earth and kill everyone to avenge the death of Maria. So everyone teams up to turn off the emeralds in the hope that it'll stop the arc's trajectory. The first part starts with Tails and introduces a new mechanic that stops time for a few seconds. Tails' section sucks, as does Eggman, who comes right after. Again, bad platforming, bad lock-on, and bad enemy placement. And Eggman's part has a green liquid that you can't touch, and bad camera on top of that. Overall, just a bad time. Rouge's part is fine. You use the time stopper to go into the waterfall to turn off some lasers and raise the water level. Still has a bad camera, but overall it's better than who comes next, Knuckles. Knuckles' part is basically go where Rouge was, but now you have to swim. This is upsetting because it's very slow and you don't hold your breath for very long. This is also when I figured out that Knuckles has an upgrade that I missed called the Air Necklace. I believe that's what it's called. And it's very useful for this level. I didn't think the game would let me skip upgrades because all of them have been pretty out in the open, which looking back I probably missed a lot for other characters. But I hated this section, mostly because I didn't have the stupid air necklace, and I kept dying because I drowned, and I had to restart at the beginning because I was on my last life, and I was just super frustrated. Next is Sonic, and by this point I was already frustrated from everything else, so the slightest problems were making me far more upset than they should have. With that being said, Sonic's part is still good. After all that bullshit, Amy stumbles upon Shadow and tries to convince him to help, and she accidentally reminds him of what Maria said.
I know that people fight over the most trivial things. Some people may be selfish, like the professor said. But they're basically good if they try their best and never give up on their wishes. They always have a reason to be happy. That's why you should help them out. Saving them is a good thing. Shadow, I beg you, please do it for them. Give them a chance.
Shadow, I beg of you, please, do it for me.
Maria!
For the future, for all people who live on that planet. Give them a chance to be happy. Let them live for their dreams. Shadow, I know you can do it. That's the reason why you were brought into this world. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
I promised her, and I must keep that promise.
And it actually snapped Shadow out of his revenge phase and convinces him to help the team. After that, we get the Bio Lizard fight, and it's good. The energy balls it shoots out have a weird hitbox, and the music is weird, but in like a kind of good weird. And then sometimes it's just kind of a normal Sonic music. But overall, I think it was good. After Shadow beats the Bio Lizard, Sonic and Knuckles turn off the emeralds, and the Bio Lizard uses Chaos Control. And Shadow says this.
Is that what Chaos Control is?
What do you mean? You've been using Chaos Control the whole game, but you didn't know what it was? Is this just a translation error? It turns out the Bio Lizard has attached itself to the Ark and taken control of it, and has continued the collision course towards Earth. Sonic and Shadow, without saying a word to each other, know what they must do. They come together and power up into their super forms to take on the final hazard. This fight is genuinely just great. It makes the past couple of levels almost worth it. Them switching between each other and honestly controlling surprisingly good for this game makes the level all the more enjoyable, and with Live and Learn in the background, makes this one of my top 10, maybe even top 5 final boss fights from Sonic. I will say, a little disappointed, kind of easy, but it feels very cool, and it feels like a good climax and a good ending to the game. We see Sonic and Shadow rushing to the Ark to stop it from colliding with Earth. Shadow remembers his promise to Maria. Him and Sonic use Chaos Control to teleport the Ark, and in this act, Shadow sacrifices himself as a hero and protector of Earth. Now, this game has its ups and downs, and while its ups are great, its downs, I believe, weigh it down a bit too much. If this game was just Sonic and Shadow, it would probably be an easy 8, but they are only 1/3 of this game. Tails, Eggman, Knuckles, and Rouge's levels are mostly just not fun and have bad controls, bad camera, bad platforming, and take up way too much time. It's like when people talk about Unleashed. The daytime stages are great, and what you want to replay, but the nighttime stages are a chore and just drag on. This game doesn't feel like a whole cooked game when it comes down to the design. It feels like one really well cooked main dish, but then 2 undercooked side dishes that are just far bigger than the main dish, so it's a lot to stuff down. Does that make sense? In the end, I think the bad does end up outweighing the good. If you like this game, that's perfectly okay, but I think overall I'm giving it a 4, maybe 5 out of 10. So even then, not bad, just kind of mediocre for Sonic. Like I said, if it was just Sonic and Shadow, solid 8. If you made it this far, I want to say thank you. Please think about subscribing, liking, leave a comment. Was Sonic Adventure 2 your first Sonic game? And is it your favorite? If so, tell me why or why not. I do like to hear people's opinions on these things. And if there's something I got correct, feel free to correct me. I have no problem with that. I want to learn more, and Sonic is a franchise that I honestly kind of care too much about. I don't know if I'll do another one of these. If I do, it's probably going to be a much smaller game. I'm either thinking Sonic X Shadow Generations, or that's kind of the only one in my mind right now. Maybe I'll do a mini review of Sonic 3 when it comes out. I am excited for that, and I do think he's a good fit for Shadow. But anyways, thank you. I hope you enjoyed. All of you have a great day, and have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. What else is there? Happy Schlinkchen Dog Day. That's probably a real thing. I don't know. Goodbye, everyone.